vengeance from day one as we get a replay from Clix and Epic. Well, one of the biggest teams everybody came to see. They get aggressed on due to Storm Surge, and they shine bright. Storm Surge is not a problem from them as they pick up 2 eliminations.
Check out where Bryce and Chubbs are at, a little bit more isolated than some of these other teams that are trapped inside of all this congestion. Mr. Savage and Badil, though, from rags to riches at the beginning of this game, they have done a decent, if not a phenomenal job at putting themselves into a comeback situation.
Some of these teams, you're asking, do you got what it takes to get your ticket onto the battle bus? What about the roller coaster this team's going through from down the mountain, across the rivers, over towards Naughty Nets? I think best case scenario, honestly, Taco, is it going south, continuing on towards that island. If it goes back on over to the west, this is going to be a nightmare for anybody that doesn't have mats, as Clix has used the last little bit that he does have left, but he finds another elimination on the ping.
These perfectly timed rotations from Clix, managing to find these players who are looking to just find that final push inward. But again, this is the beauty of being able to play from that backside of the zone. Still, Clix, Epic trying to be careful, and we are getting a little glimpse here of a team that's momentarily on high. Whether or not Fishy and DMK are going to be able to hold this is a different question entirely, but for the time being, they look well situated to carry themselves into the top 10 at least.
Even though they have high ground now, they might have to wait for some of those teams below them to try to build that allow them to save some resources, save some mats as they make their way across the roster once more. Podesai, 131 below the damage threshold. Only a big pot to his name. So right now he's peeking through the cone. He's trying to just get as much information as possible. Where can I get this damage? But time is running out. He continues to fall well below that threshold as Savage picks up another elim. Badil goes down, but it's actually Epic Well who falls to Mr. Savage, trying to keep himself alive. Storm Surge isn't a worry, but it's the HP, it's the zone that's pulling away.
So unfortunate though, Savage gonna be unable to do anything in terms of helping out the deal. Simply has to watch, wait, continue their run. That flopper though, along with the crash pads, does a great job placing him into the zone. Mr. Savage moving through all the traffic, eating shots as well, but doesn't care in the slightest. He's just continuing to push forward. He's making his own path through.
It's not going to be the most healthy anybody in the lobby can be, but he's definitely going to give himself enough wiggle room to work with. His Click's now going to be a solo, probably one of the more prolific solo players in the game. He finds a knock on the hand, but unable to finish it up. He gets taken out by Podesai.
Podesai as well. The fact that he's managed to stay this far into the game as a solo, you just know that he's going absolutely insane right now, trying to keep the run alive. Rocket Rams as well, destroying so many builds in the process. These players continue to rotate through, but that materials refresh is going so far, and it's actually Bryce and Chubbs now at the top of the lobby, but builds running incredibly low.
Yeah, multiple top 10 performances in the major this year. I think Bryce and Chubbs are one of the teams that are falling under the radar. They're ready to make a statement, just like Komet, but he runs out of time, he runs out of space, he goes down as his med miss runs dry.
Kanata, another mini, going to be popped. The patience. It's so hard to be patient through all this chaos as well. It's so easy to get distracted and think, okay, this is the perfect time to strike. A drop down to the low ground here for Kanata. Recognize the fact that he's got some players directly above him. Still has a couple of mini shield potions he can utilize. Source, on the other hand, won't make it through. Cooper going absolutely nuclear with the back-to-backs here. Cooper just won't let it go. He's actually got it.
It's actually Bryce and Chubbs. I thought it as well. I thought Cooper just stole away the game, but it's Bryce and Chubbs. I call them one of the most underrated teams falling under the radar this week. Rapid and Q and DX aren't going to be one of them. They're a full-on duo. They've been playing well so far in this game. One elimination. The rest is going to be placement points. But as this one goes on, those placement points are going to continue to rack up. We're only into the top 22. Ooh.
Foxforce getting taken out by Rapid and QND. Bit sneaky as well. This underbelly type of play over here at the Brutal Bastion. Podesai now looking to work his way through these builds. Only has this heisted accelerant to work with. He's got to be quick with the action, lands the shots, gets the enhanced effects, but just keeps it moving instead. Doesn't want to stick around for too long. Doesn't want to risk the backup opportunity from some of these other duos. He just wants the tags. He just wants the damage because that's going to buy him more time.
I feel like I got deja vu all over again. Podesai, solo, going into the end game. He made something of it in that last go around. Can he repeat? 164 above the damage threshold as well. Not too much to worry about when it comes to that part of things. It's all about just staying alive. You don't want to run into the wrong duo, maybe one that's on the other side of that Storm Surge threshold. He knows so many other teams are below him. They're on top and everything. And look, this is almost like a repeat. Price and Chubbs on the high ground yet again. They said it's simple. They said it's easy, and they're ready to prove it be.
Nobody else is going to try and challenge for height. Bryce and Chubbs will be all too happy to take it. Rapid going to be one of the first to fall here. Clean elimination there for Bryce, and now Podesai continuing, trying to work his way back up, but so much fire being applied to his build. He's down to just his last two remaining. He needs a refresh of some sort, but whether or not he's going to be able to find it is a different question altogether.
16th place so far. Half of those points come when you reach top 10. The other half are in the top 10. Podesai's just trying to get as many as he can, but he goes down. That's Clicks. That's Epicwell who find the elimination. Clicks gets knocked. Epicwell knows to try to go ahead without him, but a misplay on the bounce pad. He falls as well, but at least they got some points for their efforts. Consistency is key, but it's Agers as the solo who is able to find that elimination and keep him and Kanata alive within contention of that top 25.
We're talking about consistency, and right now for Bryce and Chubbs, so far they're consistently holding onto that high PH in. Kitos trying to tart through some of these secondary high layers. So far, haven't managed to encounter anybody just yet. Agers, though, breaks through the build and he doesn't want to find himself behind. That's going to be an elimination. Credit to Shalom is now PH in. Kitos try to tart their way forward. Crash pad, get a shot up on height, but it's not enough to actually break anything or knock down Bryce.
Yeah, but they're one of the few teams that sees what's going on above. They can easily try to make that a target if it's something they want to do. Quanti and TK, you heard him qualifying in that last game thanks to a big clutch by Quanti, trying to keep that show on the road. Reason goes down. Jan is trying to make up for it. Elimination's going to be found. Runs out of builds, runs out of mats. That's Noxie who's going to be able to take him down.
Quanti and TK, they seem to have found a slight gap. Nobody else quite discovering them just yet. PH in and Kitos, though, they've managed to make a resurgence for the high ground. Pixie and Cheatin down below on the opposite end of the spectrum. They're still forced to deal with some of the congestion that remains.
Bryce and Chubbs have a chance. Root win from the high ground, win from the low ground as Pixie takes down PH in, saving that siphon for later. Now it's going to come in handy. As soon as somebody else does eliminate it, that is going to be TK who cleans that one up. Only one player here left as a solo. Quanti going around, goes for the high ground. That's Kitos, the final solo. He gets dropped in the palm of his hands, but he dunks on him as Cheatin picks up that elimination onto TK. Quanti falls. Top two situation with Cheatin and Pixie being our final duo left alive. Kitos, on the other hand, using that early high ground to his advantage, but it only lasts for so long. Cheatin and Pixie take the game.
What a way to state your victory royale zone, but now it's going to be a scramble. Everybody's got to get a move on in order to make it, as the moving zones will become all the more problematic for these players to deal with. But Badil and Savage, they've done an excellent job at just holding down their positioning in that mid ground.
I was going to say it looked like a safe rotation, but don't be fooled. Players are hiding around every corner. Shields are going to get dropped. Cal Gamer and 7-man showing up big here on the high ground for now. But ninth zone, we've seen so many teams get tossed below due to rocket rams and sneak attacks. Kaizen's trying to break in and do one of those himself, recycling a bounce pad, hot on the heels of Frosty, but he doesn't go as high, so that player is going to be able to escape for now. And you see Kaizen, he's trying to recycle as many builds as possible, but he gets tagged up, forced to use, down to 5. At least he has some heals to work with, so he has a chance to stagger himself, but only for so long. He's down on the threshold. MK Papa falls, leaving Shalom by himself. He has more than enough to work with.
But that's only temporary, because 25 builds can be gone just like that, especially when there's so much pressure being applied both above and below you. Shalom just trying to figure out which direction he wants to go next. maybe spotted out Hen directly next to his box for the time being, but Kaizen, he's still making the most of things. Lash Splash going to be used, but a Rocket Ram to quicken the rotation. Jess has to hope that nobody spots him on the way back down. Miro is going to be the first that he comes up behind. Kaizen actually finds the knock onto Miro. The elimination siphon, a little bit of materials refresh, but Cooper with a quick revenge.
Almost a huge W for him. Into the top 13 we go. Majority of the placement points have already been picked up to this point. But if you want to make sure you qualify, you got to continue going. Badil under pressure. Mr. Savage said it himself. Badil is someone I trust to frag out at the end, to pick up these points. If he has a moment to stabilize, he could get some HP back. Shields on top of that, but running out of resources, fresh out. He's going to have to think of something outside of the box, inside of somebody else's box, into the distance, lands a shot onto Source. That gives him a little bit of a speed boost thanks to its accelerated Maven, even gets a knock onto Peterbot before going down altogether.
The sabotage, though, from Badil onto Peterbot. That's going to stop Peterbot's run for the time being. Kanata, though, still keeping things moving right now, all by his lonesome. Doesn't have Aegis with him, does have a nice pick-off view, but won't be able to connect that Preacher. So good at destroying builds, but can definitely be tough to land some shots.
CalGamer on the top, along with Nutty. Hopefully they don't run into each other, but CalGamer knows where his teammate did go down. Even though the reboot card, some would say he's going after, but it's all that materials into the top 5. 3 players are running around as solos. Bylaw is going to be one of them, but the Kings on top of the castle for now is going to be polarized and scented as they fall down below. CalGamer was another one. A nice shot's going to be landed, but no resource to continue to build up for polarized. But Scented is there. They put the pressure on. A lot of damage, and the siphon goes through. They clean house to take him out. Bylaw flies next. 2v2 situation. NA versus NA. Duke and Edgy versus polarized and Scented. But this is going to be drawn out just a little bit. The building of Mega City, it's indestructible. It's hard to break through, but Duke finally finds the wall that he can bypass. A little bit of builds, a little bit of resources left.
Duke and Edgy, they know that they needed this one. It's been a tough time so far in these first couple of games. And for game number 3, this could definitely be their moment. Polarized and Los, though, they're not looking to let it go anytime soon. Up the center and immediately taken back down. Edgy stood no hope here. Now it's Duke left in a solo clutch situation. 2 of NA's finest directly above him.
What?
Massive shot, though, onto Segundo. Duke with the back-to-back, and it's a victory royale out of nowhere.
I thought their finals run was insane enough, but they have topped it tenfold. Probably one of the best clutches we have witnessed in Fortnite history.
But first, though, he's got to survive here. He's barely up. He might just be able to find DeGuerra here. Great tag there, and he does take him down, and now Rocket rams his way on, up, and out. Can he get all the way to the top? Close enough.
Oh, wow.
Perfectly there. It was nearly over, but he even finds a zip line to get all the way on inside. There goes the elimination credit. Alive long enough to find it. Meanwhile, Reason also finding eliminations too. I know we got to interview with our good friend Amar. It seems like all of his hopes and dreams are coming true for the German community out there.
Talk about the Brazil community. King and Phaser finally have some sense of high ground. Saw them far low on the leaderboard with 2 opportunities left. This could be their chance to boost up the leaderboard, even if they don't get inside of the bubble. As long as they get close, they're keeping the hope alive for their entire region. But just like Perza here all by himself, 5 eliminations so far, 6 as a team, 34 points with a couple of those being placement. He's just waiting for the last possible moment to try to go ahead and rotate. He does have the front side of the zone, so there's going to be a lot of players passing by he could try to get an elimination on, because with 7 builds, he might need one.
This one, he's going to have to pick his poison, go for elims, go for the loot, or play for extra. Let's see what he decides to do here. Still trying to make that decision. Not looking to get greedy, though. Instead, he's going to focus on positioning here coming shortly. This is the last charge in his rocket ram. Meanwhile, Kaizen flying all the way to the front side of zone, puts himself in an excellent spot here. He just sees so many chances to find tags.
Just biding his time, trying to play the smart game, even though he's below the damage threshold. He's not trying to make that leap all in one bound, even finds some minis along the way, gets above the damage threshold before it goes away altogether. Top 30 player situation. He's going to be one of them, trying to put the team on his shoulders, but King and FaZe are still find a way to hold on to that high ground. Put so much damage on Yanis, who tried to contest him up there, sends him back down low into the mud.
What a game for Shalom and Papa here. Also, ranking their way all the way up right now. Getting very close, getting very comfortable, but Shalom falls is all up to MK Papa here. Has to put the teammate on his back quite literally. They decide, hey, you don't have to save me. I'm going to try to stay up right here. Clicks is going to fall. Epic Whale has to do it by himself in the end game. He has no build. Shots come from everywhere. Down he goes to his NA friends. TK there. And now, Snazy, Podesai, another end game for them. This is their moment. This is their chance to do it all.
I know everybody at home can hear the crowd through our mics cheering loud and proud. We already seen Podesai get a massive amount of points as a solo. This time, yes, his dynamic duo trying to go ahead and lead the charge into the qualification spot along with Pink and Vico. They've been doing so much damage all around the lobby all game long, and they don't intend to stop here, especially with 7 eliminations. They already got themselves into the top 10. Now they're trying to grab the last half of those points.
And only one build left. He comes all the way down to low ground. They'll be alive for a little bit longer, but 4 duos remain. One's a single solo in the mix here. In this entire game, Shadow from the shadows, the back of the leaderboards, all the way on up, here to play Epset. He makes an end game. This is going to surely put him in a true chance for the bubble spot. Down he goes to the hands of Pink and Vico. Pink and Vico have rocketed their way up. It's going to be such a contentious final round. But first, who will win this one? Who will secure that dub here? Podesai will surely get eaten alive by the storm. And he fails the build there. It's unfortunate here. Comes in through the side. Down he goes. And it's now a 2v2.
That's gone, and Pingu at the bottom. Fall damage is real on the Vico, but he gets the trade at the bare minimum. And Pink and Vico take the game. That could have been it, Monster. That could have been the moment where they qualify to the grand finals on Sunday. They're knocking on the door of Acorn and Cold. So I'm going to throw it on over to the stage where we have Frankie standing by to pick their brains. Trying to go ahead and use those bounce pads. Every tool he has in his tool belt to try to get there, and maybe even try to sneak attack one of these teams that might know he's there. Perfect rotation coming out from Epic, not really getting tagged up. This is his chance. He's barely on that mine. He's barely on the threshold trying to stay alive.
Stay alive a little bit longer and you can get the placement points. That is truly what he needs to do. He's in 27th. Once he breaks past 25th, every team that falls will be a difference maker. It's all or nothing right now. He is only 91 above, just barely there, but the chance, the opportunity, the hope is still alive. So is Death, another solo who needs to stay up. One more team will be it. Phasers already down. That means King is on his final leg too. King falls as well. And they are down and out. Epic Whale is now on that absolute line here.
Wow, he pulled zone as well.
Oh my gosh.
Talk about a blessing in disguise, a miracle even. That's going to allow him to let some of these teams go ahead, go over his box, under his box, and this could be the perfect moment to catch somebody off guard, but he has to be careful because a lot of these teams surrounding him are going to be full-on duos. You can even see Batman, Booga, and Rapid there. There might be one player towards the bottom that you try to take advantage of, but it doesn't look like he's going to peek in that direction. He's just biding his time, waiting for the perfect moment to strike.
2 points already given to him. 2 more points now.
No.
Top 23, but the surge updates as teams start to fall here. He's the final line. He is the one below. To his left, to his right, players everywhere, but the zone is behind him. And now, off he goes, 200 builds in front of him, showing you guys why he is a 6X FNCS champion. Can he clutch up? Surely he can. There's a player there. He sees the builds come out. It's fresh wood. Can he break it? No. Decides to go for it. 18 seconds now before the zone starts to close and move in. Players jumping everywhere. Zone's on his tail side. Crash pads in front of him. He takes one. Left exposed. He's nervous. Tensions are high here.
Time is definitely ticking. Only a few seconds left before Storm Surge activates. This is going to be the moment right here. It's all or nothing for Epic Whale, trying to stay alive. 293 below the threshold. He's trying to move forward. He sees a couple players in front of him. The damage is there. He's trying to do just enough. Playing a game of peekaboo, but he's still below the damage threshold.
One tag, but no! Bila finds him! But did he do enough? Did he get to top 20 or not is the question. It's going to be so very close. How many points did he earn? Back into the game, though. The line is there. Peterbot is firing his way up to the top, and he's still going. Finishing the job that Epic left off. A clean finish there on to wrap it.
He's hoping and praying that every one of these teams are below him are getting eliminated by people who already have their spot secured, just like Peterbot and Bila. They're inside of that top 25. They're trying to push themselves even further, and he's hoping that it's them who take down some of these players. Moneymaker, Fnayan are going to be right below Bila. That's one of the teams that needed a big game here on the day. High ground's going to be stolen away from TK and Quanti.
Oh my
one
gosh.
of them's going to go down. The crash landing comes through,
Gosh.
but Peterbot just dunks him out of the lobby.
Peterbot turning online now, but he loses Bila in the process now by himself. Peterbot has definitely done enough to get to Sunday finals. At this rate, it has to be. But Groles on the low ground here for Clownski has to put up the numbers. This is incredible. If he does enough, he can actually push players out of their top 25. This is one of the few players that needs a little bit more. Vidil's in front of Peterbot. There's still a few top teams in the running here.
Yeah, there's only just a couple of teams outside of that bubble that need these big points. Top 7. Every single player left is going to be solos. Peterbot falls. He was just on the bubble as well. Noxy getting an elimination on Delushi. Final 4 players. This is it. These are the moments. Noxy falls. 1v1 situation. Vidil versus Groles. A player who already has a spot versus a player who needs a big win. Groles goes down. Vidil takes him out. But who qualified? That's the question we're asking.
What a well-played fight it was, and Vidil and Savage get a win like we know they should. Absolutely deserving, and you have to give him the crown. We'll be seeing them at the finals.
You can see the celebration, the loudness. Frankie on the stage, let us know.
Vidil and Savage, not only did you just take the victory royale, you have also topped the leaderboard at the end of day 2. Congratulations.
They are of each other.
Yeah.
How much they have each other's back. And look at that. First place coming out of the lower bracket with 249 points, but also Agers and Kanata coming in second. We all knew after Major 3 that this duo had it in them, but then they faced the impossible task in day 1, going
On to Global Championships Grand Finals. Here is a look at your list, and I would want to call out one duo in particular. Bottom left, second from the bottom, Rolls and Clown. These guys literally battled it out there in game number 5 of the day, and they literally found themselves in that top 25. They were outside, and in a single game, they said, Grands will be there.
30.